Hello, Rich Downey again from Full Stack Automation with Ruby. In my last video, I showed you the rake task spin up multiple containers of the FSAR Docker app. I've made a few modifications that I'll go over, but let's kick those off now and make sure that they're up and running with the rake task. So we have our Docker image, and we currently have no Docker containers. So I can just do the build containers, and we should see those up now. So DPS looks like they're creating. Okay, so you'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's this new dynamic ports array. Like I said earlier, in the last video, it was a static array. The way we generate this is basically I would like to run each one of these feature files and its scenarios in its own version of the Rails app Docker container. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8, which matches our 8 count in the array. So to do that, I basically use the dir class and puts each file into an array. So that files count is 8, and I've started this variable for starting port 3044, which we'll use the file count -1 since we already have one here to create the ending port. So if I just copy and paste these, we have our starting point 3044 and our ending port 3051. So now we can just pass these into the 2A array method, and it should give us a nice ports array. Again, this is dynamic, so if we added a couple more feature files, we would get a couple more ports to run those feature files in their own version of the app. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we can move into the new rake task, build Chrome, which executes scenarios in a Chrome browser. Same idea as the containers. It's got its own threads array, and it's pulling in the ports that we created or generated dynamically, and then it's just going to run Cucumber, and it's going to pull or pop one of the feature files out of that files array, and it's again going to pass the port to it so that it gets run in its own container via port. So if we kick this off, you know what, I'm going to do headless just so there's not a lot of mess bouncing around the screen. So here's our featured file array and our ports array, and we see these different localhost ports, which is good because you can see it bouncing over here headless. The Chrome is trying to generate a browser. So now that it's starting to run through, you'll see in the log the output for each of the containers, and we start seeing some green scenarios. Looks like this one finished in 20 seconds, 23 seconds, using this port 3050. This one's using 3045. And that's it. Looks like they all finished and passed.